Hello, I'm Wesley Page.
And I'm Justin Toby, and the next episode of the Oak Leaf Online starts right now.
You're watching the Oak Leaf Online, the student-produced media network of Santa Rosa Junior College and the Media 19 class.
In local news today, Santa Rosa Junior College is well underway with its development of its hemp cultivation program. This will mark the SRJC as the first college in the state to offer such a program.
The hemp cultivation program is stated to open to students in the fall of 2020. It will consist of courses from the horticultural and sustainable agricultural departments. A small plot of hemp is being grown at the school's Schoen farm. Unlike cannabis, these plants contain a very small amount of THC, the compound that gets users high. But they do contain a significant amount of the compound CBD, which may have a range of health benefits. More research needs to be done.
Speaking with the Dean of Agriculture, we learned more about the program and Sonoma County's potential to grow this cash crop.
Industrial hemp is a federally legal agricultural commodity now as of 2018, and it's a huge industrial and economic opportunity for Sonoma County and the state of California. And one of our jobs as an agricultural department that's now 50 years old is to train students for jobs in agriculture. And so when a new commodity comes along, just like wine grapes did in the 1970s, we developed a viticulture program, and we're one of the first in the state for that. We are now the first community college to have a hemp agriculture program in the state.
Well, I found that to be certainly interesting. I'm very proud of the SRJC, and I'm curious to see how they move forward with this.
Yeah, it'll be quite an interesting adventure. Maybe they'll be able to take the hemp grown there, and sell it to other research universities to test the effects of CBD and other such plant compounds.
Of course. And relating to local news, we have a short video to share on some different ways to make hard cider, brought to you by our school's J55 class.
And just in time for the holidays. Let's roll the video.
It is harvest season here in Sonoma County, and gardens are abundant with veggies. Another often forgotten about delicacy of the area are apples. The fruiting trees are so productive and plentiful that they are often overlooked, leading to tons of apples going to waste. There are hundreds of different recipes on how to preserve apples so they can be enjoyed throughout the cold of winter, a reminiscent taste of summer days. Among all the creations possible, nothing warms you up like some homemade hard apple cider. Simple steps can turn these otherwise wasted apples into a fermented delight. A few specialized tools make the job easier, but a home juicer works just fine for smaller batches. For large batches, larger receptacles called carboys are needed, although a 5-gallon water jug is adequate. An apple grinder and press will make short work of the 100 to 150 pounds of apples needed to obtain 5 gallons of juice. About 3 apples weigh a pound. Once a substantial amount of apples have been gathered, they can be run through the grinder, being sure to catch the ground product. When enough is collected to fill the press, take a break from grinding and fill the press with the apple shavings. Have a bucket already in place when dumping. Liquid will begin to pour before any pressure is applied. Crank the screwing mechanism until the amount of juice coming out stops, increasing after each torque, flowing to a drizzle. Reserve the crank and empty out the spent apple shaving. Repeat until you have a total of about 4 gallons of liquid. Funnel juice from the bucket into the carboy. It is best to have some space for bubbling at the top of the carboy. Add yeast. We are using an M2 wine yeast. Its alcohol content can reach the mid to low teens, making it fermented dry, meaning the yeast have eaten all the sugar. During the fermentation process, you have the choice to either create a bubbly apple cider or a high-gravity apple wine. This is dependent on how long it is left to ferment, and if any additional sugar is added. After 4 weeks, your elixir will be ready for racking and bottling. In order to prevent the alcohol from turning into vinegar while storing, add half of the sulfite tablet per gallon to cider. Siphon the produced cider or wine from carboy into clean, sealable bottles. Once racked and bottled, you can indulge right away or let age for as long as you desire. Drink home brew responsibly. This film was brought to you by the Fall 2016 J55 Video Journalism class.
Well, that was insightful. I had no idea it was that easy to make hard apple cider.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I think I'm going to have to go out and try some for myself this year.
Sounds like a good idea, but remember, the SRJC does not condone underage drinking in any way, shape, or form. Thanks again to J55 for providing that footage. In national news over the weekend, Kurt Volker, U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine, resigned 1 day after the release of a report alleging a cover-up from the White House regarding a call between President Donald Trump and Ukraine's president. In the call, Trump pressured Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter.
The news of Volker's resignation comes just hours after the House Foreign Affairs Committee announced they would hold a deposition for him next week. A congressional aide familiar with the deposition plans stated they still expect to hear everything he knows about this scandal. It's unclear if he will still speak with the committee on the planned date. This scandal, as well as Kurt's deposition, could play a major role in the upcoming impeachment inquiry.
Let's move over to Brendan for the weather.
Thanks, Wesley. Well, it's still hot. One whole week into October, and we're looking at keeping around the 80s for the entire week, from Tuesday all the way through Friday, and even into next week on Monday. Of course, we have very low chance of precipitation to match that, as well as almost zero wind, and I think that's just crazy. Now, let's move over to Nathan with the latest news on sports.
Thank you, Brendan. I'm Nathan Snyder, and this is SRJC News Sports Edition! Today, women's volleyball, Sacramento City 0, SRJC 3. I believe that's going to make us very happy. Women's soccer, Sacramento City 1, SRJC 2. We doubled their score. Men's soccer, American River 0, SRJC 4. That makes all of us here in the studio very happy. Football, SRJC 20 and Sequoias 23. We narrowly were defeated by a bunch of trees. And in wrestling, we got 11th place at West Hills Tournament. Still, despite my asking, I have not been told whether or not that is Greco-Roman or fake. And that's it for sports.
Well, thanks for that, guys. I believe that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Oakleaf Online. This has been Wesley Page.
And this is Justin Toby, signing off.
This has been the Oakleaf Online, the student-produced media network of Santa Rosa Junior College and the Media 19 class.